In this video, I am sharing 5 free grant writing tools to help save you time and money for your nonprofit. But these tools honestly can work for anybody looking to fill out grant applications or grant proposals. And this specifically focuses on the writing, assisting you with the actual writing of your proposals. Number 5 comes with a warning, so I want you to watch to the end and make sure you hear all of what I have to say because it will trip you up. I'm Tiffany with Boss on a Budget. I teach people how to start nonprofits and how to raise money from the ground up. So if you need help with your nonprofit, make sure you are subscribed to this channel because I drop videos every single week. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 services: Wordtune, Grammarly, Canva, GrantFrog, and ChatGPT. Let's get into it. Number 1 is Wordtune, and it's a prompt generated AI service. So you put a prompt in or you feed information to the AI and it gives you a response. But I wanted to call this one out in particular because it helps make your writing more persuasive. And one of the things you need to remember is that when you're writing a grant proposal, you are literally making the case for why the funder should fund you over other people. So you have to write your text or your narrative in a way that's more compelling and that draws people in. And you can use Wordtune as a way to take the narrative that you have and make it way more compelling for the reader. What Wordtune will do, it will rewrite some of your wording, or it will do grammar and spelling checks. And what it will do is provide summaries for whatever information that you submit. Now, Wordtune does have a cost, but there's a free level where you'll get 10 rewrites, 10 suggestions a day, and you also get 3 AI summaries per day. So there's a limit, but it's still free for you to use. So let's talk about the next one, which is Grammarly. I like Grammarly because you can use it as a plugin for your browser. So when I say browser, for those who aren't technologically savvy, I just mean Google Chrome or Safari if you're on Apple, or Firefox or Opera, right? You can literally add Grammarly to your browser so that when you're writing an email or if you're on the internet doing anything, you can have it check your grammar or check your spelling right then and there. So similar to like back in the day when I used to use Word and it would put a little red squiggly line under things, Grammarly does the same thing. And in the moment, it will check your grammar. It could also check for tone. It could check for run-on sentences along with spelling and grammar checks. The reason why I'm calling out Grammarly is because it's a pretty popular software or service, and also it's been around for a minute, so they've been able to fine-tune it, and it's so easy to use. Once you download it into your browser, it never goes away. It literally takes minutes to download and you can immediately get started. Number 3 is Canva. You may be wondering why I mentioned Canva, because it's more of a graphic design service or software. It helps you design flyers, and you can do charts and presentations and business cards, whatever you want. You can do websites on Canva. But the reason why I'm calling it out is because when you're writing a grant proposal, especially when you have to submit on paper, white space and how you break up your text really matters, because you have to think about the reader. You have to think about how engaged they are as they're reading your proposal. So you need to break up the text with figures and graphics and things like that. You don't want to use up all your space because sometimes you're limited with your words or with your pages, but there are certain ways you can make your text pop instead of just putting it in a paragraph. So if you need to easily convert something into a table, if you need to show a quick data chart instead of just saying it in a paragraph, Canva can do that for you pretty easily. And I like Canva because it's easy to make edits and it's easy to make it look pretty. When you're using something like Google Sheets or Google Docs, you still got to play around with it and spend a lot of time figuring out how to make it look streamlined and, again, pretty. But Canva is really easy to change colors and change fonts and to make it pop. So use Canva as a resource to help you develop figures and charts, and even sometimes you have to submit flyers as attachments to your proposals, or you need to submit a video as an attachment to your proposal. You can use Canva to edit those to make your proposals pop. Number 4 is GrantFrog. This is a new service that I just found out, and it's very similar to Wordtune and ChatGPT, which is what we're going to talk about in a little bit. But the reason why I'm calling out GrantFrog, because it has a cool resources page where you can put in certain kinds of prompts. First of all, you can get prompts from their website that help you figure out how to write. It helps remind you of certain things you should call out in your proposal. It helps you think about what you may not have covered in your proposal so that you are submitting the full picture, or you're submitting a comprehensive application or proposal to your funder. Also, if you're stuck and you don't know where to start with writing, or you don't know how to say something, those Those prompts can be really good for getting your juices flowing and kind of conquering the writer's block that happens when you're staring at a blank screen. They also have some cool resources like executive summary generators. So sometimes you have to submit an executive summary and you should always do that last. But when you're ready to draft that summary, you can take your full proposal and it can generate an executive summary for you. It also has a word counter directly on their website. So if you need to figure out if you're at the correct number of words, if you have word limits in your proposal, then you can use that as well. I always like finding cool websites, and I also like supporting small businesses. So make sure you check out Grant Frog. Number 5 is ChatGPT. And I could not do this video without mentioning the OG of AI, where you can give a prompt and it'll spit out what you need. Now, I did a video on how to use AI ethically when writing grant proposals, and this is my stance on this. I don't necessarily recommend that you use ChatGPT to generate a proposal for you from scratch. ChatGPT is a great resource and a great buddy when you need to brainstorm, or you need to figure out how to structure something, or if you need to figure out what your first steps are. It can help you with process. It can help you design processes and design systems for yourself so that you can do the work, right? There are a couple reasons why I'm saying this. Number 1, ChatGPT be lying, y'all. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but sometimes if you ask it to do something that requires research, they'll say some wild things. They'll have some wild claims in there. You're like, that doesn't seem right. And you'll ask it to fact check itself, and it'll literally be like, oh yeah, I overstated this, or you're right, I couldn't find a source on this. Let me rewrite this. And this is my thing about this. If you're a computer, you're supposed to do that already. Why are you giving me wrong information? That's what I don't understand. So I'm just warning you now that ChatGPT will often, it's not sometimes, it's not rare, it will often give you incorrect information, and it knows it's giving you incorrect information. So if you're relying on it to just give you something, you're like removing yourself from the process and just asking it to fill out a proposal so you can hurry up and submit, there are some things that are going to be missed. There's some things that are just going to be flat out wrong. And you just need to check the computer. It used to be that you had the computer check you, but you got to check the computer to make sure that it's doing everything correct. I've noticed that when you feed more information to it, you get better information out. So that's why I say you write first, then you submit, and help it refine your work, or help with the tone, or help make sure that, there's a flow from one section to the other. You can also take your rubric sheet or a scoring sheet that you may have and ask ChatGPT to score your proposal and assess how you would score based on what you submitted. Those are really great ways to use it instead of having it draft your proposal for you. The other reason why I'm recommending against it drafting your complete proposal is that it takes some of the life and the passion and the substance out of it when you just are asking a computer to do the work for you, because the computer doesn't have your experiences. The computer doesn't know the stories of the people that you're helping. So you naturally, when you're doing the writing, or when you're communicating with the grant writer and they're doing their research for that, it's not naturally going to tap into that. Sometimes it will, but there's nothing like infusing your personal experience and your understanding and your perspective in your writing. And you lose sight of that sometimes when you're just giving something to the computer or to technology to do it for you. It is a great time saver and it's a great money saver as well, but just use it responsibly. So which service are you going to try today? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you need help with writing a grant, I have a grant writing workbook where I give 10 worksheets to help you come up with everything you need for the common sections of a proposal. If you want that workbook, just comment grant workbook below and I'll send you a link. You can also visit me at bossonabudget.com for help with your nonprofit. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.